Hey everyone, how's it going? So we're back with some more Explorer and Pioneer content, and today we are playing some Simic Merfolk, so a creature type matters deck. Played a similar kind of thing before, lots of cheap Merfolk, pump them all up, have a good time. It's a pretty straightforward strategy, but we do have a new card from Aetherdrift, which is Mindspring Merfolk, so it's a 1/1 for 1 blue, and has an exhaust ability, and I don't think we've played any exhaust cards on this channel yet, but exhaust is basically an ability you can only use once, and you can pay X and 2 blue and tap, draw X cards, put a +1/+1 counter on each Merfolk creature you control. Crucially, you don't have to do this at sorcery speed, so we can do it at the end of their turn. So this is potentially a very good source of card advantage, as well as being able to pump up all of the Merfolk that we have on the battlefield, which, given the kind of deck that this is often quite a lot. You know, we'll be creating tokens, doing all of the rest of it. So yeah, this obviously it's a tap ability, so it does need to survive a whole turn cycle before you can use its ability, and it will have a kind of a sword over it from the opponent, given how kind of potentially powerful this is, particularly if we've got lots of land. But worth trying in this deck, I think. So that's our new card. And then the rest of the deck is pretty much just Merfolk creatures and associated. So we've got 2 Benthic Biomancers, 1/1 for 1 that has an adaptability that allows us to filter some cards, C-Note Scout, 1/1 with Explore, just the 1 copy of Chimena's Speaker, a 1/1 that becomes a 2/2 if we control another Merfolk or an island. Then our 2 drops, so we've got the Deep Root Pilgrimage, so 4 copies of that. Tret is just a very, very good kind of... I mean, it's just very powerful in this deck. It's a great way of just generating a huge amount of value. Whenever one or more non-token Merfolk we control becomes tapped, we create a 1/1, and we can kind of modulate that with Cumena. This ability to kind of tap Merfolk in kind of... in a kind of very controlled way, just doing 1 at a time, each time triggering the pilgrimage. We can generate a lot of tokens off that, which combine very powerfully with Voldalian Hexcatcher. So this is a Merfolk Lord, could be cast at instant speed, but also has the sacrifice of Merfolk to counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1. Which is an ability that comes up more than you would think, given it's only a single additional mana that you're kind of taxing the opponent. You know, these formats like this move very quickly. There often isn't a lot of spare mana flying around. You know, it's all very kind of incremental edges. So yeah, it is more powerful than you'd think. Floodpits Drowner, another more recent addition. Merfolk 2/1 with Flash and Vigilance, and a great tempo play by stunning a creature that the opponent controls, and if it's a particularly annoying one, you can then pay 2, tap this to shuffle both of those creatures into their owner's libraries. 3 drops as well as Cumena, which is kind of the one of the most powerful finishers, and kind of with its multiple activated abilities. We've got 4 copies of Tishana's Tidebinder, which is a card we've used a few times for shutting down the opponent's activated and triggered abilities and blanking their artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. Obviously, can do this at instant speed, so it's also a tempo play. 3 copies of Sentinel of the Nameless City, just a kind of huge value generator, just creating lots of map tokens. And then 4 copies of Collected Company. Not surprising that a deck that's running this many cheap creatures, also running Collected Company, getting 2 of the top 6, mana value 3 or less, straight onto the battlefield at instant speed. Always very, very powerful. You know, we've played this before and we've kind of seen how good it can be. In terms of the mana base, pretty self-explanatory. Dual lands, couple of the new Verges. I think having the ability to always add blue, but then potentially green later in the game is kind of the right way round for a deck like this, where its primary colour is blue, but we will need green mana at some point. 1 copy of Cavern of Souls, Mutavault, 4 copies of that. Creature that it turns into is obviously a Merfolk, as well as every other type. So yeah, kind of gets all of the benefits that the other Merfolk accrue. A couple of islands, and then a Boseiju and an Otawara as well. In the sideboard, we have 3 copies of Unable to Scream, so it just turns an opponent's creature into a 0/2 with no abilities. Shaper Sanctuary, this is good against those decks like Rakdos that run a lot of targeted removal. Just turns all of their removal spells into additional cards for us. Aethergust and Disdainful Stroke, these are our additional counter spells, and then Tidebinder Mage, which came in with Pioneer Masters. So this is kind of colour hosing, which is not something we see a huge amount so much anymore, but worth trying in a deck which cares about Merfolk. So 2/2 for 2, and when it enters tap target, a red or green creature an opponent controls, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step for as long as you control this creature. So if the opponent has a particularly problematic red or green creature, and you know there are quite a lot of those flying around the format, if you think about the Gruul aggro decks or mono red or mono green, then this is a good way of just shutting those down. And then we do have some graveyard hate with unlicensed Hearse as well that we can use as an attacker and blocker if we need to too. So yeah, that is the deck. Simic Merfolk, new card, which should be an interesting new addition. Yeah, not much else to say about it. It's pretty much as it seems, so let's go on to the ladder. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's try out some matches with some Merfolk. This hand's okay. I think the Sentinels will probably do quite a lot of good work for us here. It would be nice to have a 1-drop, but we don't. Okay, so this is the sort of mono-green, potentially Selesnya ramp deck that's been doing the rounds. I will let them do me 1 damage here. Not hugely fussed about that. Yeah, we'll get the Flood Pits Drowner down. Ooh, a Mindspring Merfolk. Well, that's going to come in handy soon. So this can destroy an enchantment. So I don't think we want Pilgrimage. We'll wait till this goes away. So the opponent's got access to 6 mana, potentially, here. And a Spelunking. Do they have a cave, is the question. Yes, they do. Oh yeah, I forget that this these combine quite nicely with Castle Garenbrig, don't they? Blech. So I will play Pilgrimage here. I think it combines pretty well with Hexcatcher once we get that down, which we will play at instant speed. Okay, well, I don't hate having another land. Grab a breeding pool. Alright, there's 6 mana. What are they going to do with it all? Just, so far, a fungus. I can certainly live with that. Yeah, picking up Glasspool Mimic, that's quite a neat little interaction. Ta-ta-dum. No, they're doing their own thing here. So, far off a Hexcatcher. Ooh, collected company, I like. So let's create another map. Yeah, happy for them to double block. Mindspring Merfolk. Land go. We are a little on the back foot here, let's be real. They've got so much mana that it's only a matter of time before they play one of their massive payoff cards. There's another Glasspool Mimic. Maybe I should have shuffled that away, just to stop using it as a constant, like. Another Spelunking. I don't like what they've done with the place. So I think let's exhaust this, drawing 2 additional cards. Leave ourselves 3 mana open. Okay, I like that. Discard Beseiju. Send in the creatures. So their life total is coming down here. But they do have basically a turn to do. Okay, they've got 6 cards, none of which are lands. Doesn't feel great. Just another Spelunking I could live with. Ugh. That's a good draw. Really wish they hadn't. I can never remember what the... Okay, Sire of 7 Deaths sort of thing. I mean, I can target that with a Flood Pitch Drowner. It will cost me a lot of life to do it, but that's fine. So yeah, let's start with that. Yeah, I will pay your ward. So, if I fire up Mutavault, do some map action. I should definitely have lethal here. And we do. Okay. So we overcame a lot of ramp there. So I definitely want Tidebinder Mage in this matchup. I think Unable to Scream is also pretty good for something like a Sire of Seven Deaths. Probably same with Disdainful Stroke and Aethergust. Yeah, we've got quite a lot of things to put in, actually. So that is... I feel like they're going to have infinite removal for Pilgrimage, so we could lose those. Tidebinder, I think I'm less fussed by in this matchup as well. And I'll lose the Speaker and one of the Scouts. Good. It's all good news. Endless good news. Yeah, this will do. Again, again, not the quickest. Not drawing our 1-drops, but that's fine. We were actually okay in the game that kind of went a bit longer there. Alright, I think we can shut down the Goose and stop that from generating mana. Yeah, these are all neat little interactions, aren't they? So, sadly, we do need the additional land before we can comfortably start just hanging back with Disdainful Strokes. Okay. Play another Sentinel. Pass the turn. There's the green shell. I don't love it. I think we are just passing the turn with Disdainful Stroke and Collected Company available to us. Right, that I'm going to Disdainful Stroke. I don't want them drawing more cards. Yep, you can have the Goose. I think I want to shuffle that away, to be honest. I think I should. Get you gone. Fire off a map token. Yes to Hexcatcher. There. wish I had a good answer to that, but I do not. So I think we are just passing the turn. Well, I'm not having two of them on the battlefield. That is a bridge too far. Hexcatcher. I think I'll sack the Biomancer to... no, actually, there's no point, because they can just pay with it using the Goose, so they can have the card from Spelunking. This has Vigilance, doesn't it? Of course it does. It's got all the abilities. Yeah, I'm going to need like an answer almost immediately for that. Well, I think we're going to have to main phase Collected Company. Okay, Floodpit's Drowner as a start. Grab Tidebinder as well. So Floodpit's Drowner, turn off the Sire. That, do that one. So I am going to take 7 from the ward. I think this is an attack with all situation. I mean, I could leave back the Hexcatcher. Right, they're down to 7. Their Sire is still tapped. Green Shell is not a Sire of 7 deaths. Well, I think I'm Collected Companying again. Floodpit's Drowner, Voldalian Hexcatcher. Drowner shutting down the Green Shell. Fire up Mutavault. Attack with all. Should be sufficient. It's not going to save them. I don't think. Nope, not even close. Okay, well, we overcame the Simic ramps. Yes. On the play, this is not a terrible hand. We still seem to be nursing a small number of 1-drops, but that's fine. Yorion. Well, as we've discovered recently, Yorion could be basically anything these days. Okie dokie. Well, we'll play a Hexcatcher. Sentinel coming down as a 4-5 really is just ludicrously good. Rude. So I could sack my Hexcatcher to save the Sentinel, which I think I will do because I want to keep generating value off it. And I have a collected company. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a card. But it is not a collected company. Blech. Well, that was rubbish. We were hoping for so much more. Right, let's stun that. Kumena. Pass the turn. No discards. Well, that's fun. Right. Pilgrimage. Fire up Mutavault. Trigger the Pilgrimage. Play the Speaker. Land. Okay, we've rebuilt not terribly there. I don't think it's going to be enough based on the fact that they'll probably have like a Bring to Light or a Niv Mizzet momentarily. Yep. So, I think I'm going to have to shut down Niv Mizzet. Mindspring Merfolk's pretty good. Well, that's very sus, isn't it? Worrying. So Bring to Light is basically whatever they want it to be. I don't know if do they run more than one Sunfall? Not that fussed about losing a scout. Lightning Helix. We'll keep going. There's only so much we can do here, but because that hanging around. If only this was in my hand. Yep. What will they go and get, I hear you ask? Deafening Clarion, that is a card. And they can give their Niv Mizzet lifelink as well, so that's fun. They can turn on their incubator token as a result. Yes, carry on, carry on. Well, it doesn't look good, lads. Okay. Disdainful Stroke. I think we want a couple of Shaper's Sanctuaries and a couple of Unable to Screams as well here. Tashana's Tidebinder is a good answer to a Niv Mizzet. Kumena is too cute. We need to kill them far too quickly for that to be good. Benthic, Biomancer, and Kanina Speaker can go as well. Yep. No. Oh god, that's awful. That really is not good. But I think I'm going to have to keep it. Can I go to 5? Not really. Put back Mutavault. I think we're just hoping for the best, that we can draw a better land. Trouble with these pathways, can't be both. Okay. So we've got both options available to us here. Cool. So we'll Tidebinder and blank that ability. Yes, carry on. Leyline binding. Do you know what? Fine, if they're that interested in killing my Shaper Sanctuary, then they can. Hex go, hex catching. Another land is good. So I think no, I don't think I'll main phase Collected Company here as much as it's tempting to. Okay, so I don't have any creatures that can counter that, but if I hit a Tidebinder, I can counter that trigger. Okay, I don't. But I can shut that down at least. Okay, that could have been worse. I think it's time to start attacking their life total. So there you go. Corn. I don't think I'm willing to fight over that at this point. But I am going to Collected Company again. Alright, let's add another stun counter to their Niv Mizzet. Yeah, right. Another Helix. We're not getting very far, it doesn't feel like here. I'll keep a Hex Catcher. Pillage. 14 cards. Feels like a lot. Yep, there goes the Sunfall. So, they've got enough mana to use Yorion. They're getting a bit aggro instead, perhaps. That's okay. Could live with that. Have myself a Hex Catcher. Not a dead Hex Catcher either. This is a shame about the Mutavault. Okay, I think we're pretty much done here. No, never really got anything going against Live to Light there. What don't I want here? I think Kumena could go back. Land is quite good. Famously, land is quite good. You need land to be able to win the game. So I think a pilgrimage... Get that under a counter spell. And then we can potentially start hex capturing. Our life total doesn't matter. Right, no, I'm happy to chill, because I have infinite value and they do not. I'll just keep generating Merfolk if they carry on like this. The Mindspring. Well, I think it's worth a try, see if we can get a counter spell out of them. And we do. Now, I would quite like a little bit more land. Main phase Memory Deluge, I do not mind seeing at all. Teth.
I'm known for my excellent timing. No time for a break.
Excellent. Just play lots of stuff at instant speed. It'll eventually work. Shaper Sanctuary, good. Disdainful Stroke, reasonable. Everything else, bad. What do I not want in this matchup? I am not hugely fussed about the Flood Pits Drowners. I think one Tidebinder can go. It's good at blanking Planeswalkers, potentially. Actually, probably. But then, modern blue-white control doesn't run that many. I think it's only like 2 copies of Teferi. No. This is not good enough. Try again. Do better. That is better. Kind of. Yeah. As much as I would like to keep 2 companies, I'm a realist. don't think I want to play my pilgrimage into this. I think Speaker is an absolutely reasonable play. Yep, shark with no shark. And if they're going to main phase destroy my Mutavault, that I am reasonably happy with. Island. Now they could still have Spell Pierce. But I think it's worth a go. Yep. Temporary lockdown, I mean, it's always a possibility. Yep. So am I main phasing this company is the question. I don't think I need to. I think I can just chill and see what they do, because I do have Hexcatcher as well. Okay, well, if you're not going to do anything, then neither am I. I'm a patient man. No, hello. Because I definitely don't have one in hand, and you can memory deluge to your heart's content. Okay, we'll let them pick the cards before we... Collected company. Blech. That was awful. That's twice now in this video where I've only had a one-hit collected company. I demand a recount. It's not the worst. Play to fairy, play to fairy. You know you want to. Oh, it's the dream. Oh dear, your Teferi does nothing. But I am going to kill it anyway, because, you know.
I'll have a better plan next time.
Stop playing Supreme Verdicts. Eventually you're going to run out of answers. Okay, I guess you don't. Put back in the other Tidebinder. Take out one Kumena. Run it back. Cavern of Souls. Yes, please. This not being the quickest is a shame. If this was a 1-drop instead, I think I would feel a lot better. Okay, now I feel better. Tidebinders can like blank a temporary lockdown trigger as well, which is pretty good. I am just going to play one at instant speed. Shame they'll be able to destroy my Cavern of Souls. Don't think we want Sanctuary at this point in the game. Boo. Boo earns. I potentially should have waited there because this is Teferi turn. But I wanted to get Pilgrimage down. Yep. One day they just won't have it. That's rough.
Stop that now.
I think I have to try and get the Tidebinder into play. Yeah, this is pretty horrendous, to be honest. Losing our Cavern of Souls to a Field of Ruin. They've had the perfect answer for everything, really. And we don't have any good attacks because of the anchorage.
No time for a break.
Well, that's good. Yep. Yeah, alright. Ah, that's a shame. Slightly disappointed with Merfolk there. I was hoping for better. I mean, we had a couple of matches that didn't line up very well. Got a bit unlucky in that control game. Interesting. Oh well, we got some packs to open, so we'll grab a mythic one and a normal one. Boom. March of the Worldoos. Now that I have not seen anywhere yet. And to be honest, given its mana cost, probably never will. So yeah, some interesting... I mean, Mindspring Merfolk, when it went off, it was pretty good, but like, you often just don't have the mana to spare. If you do, it's great, obviously. If you could kind of, particularly if it's kind of a grindy game and you've got 6-7 mana, so you can do that and also do something else. But when it takes up the entire turn, it does feel a little underpowered. Pilgrimage, okay. Yeah, I mean, this deck's still missing something, I think. Maybe it probably needs multiple caverns, potentially, to get over the counterspell hump. Although it was only in that third match that we got a little unlucky with the way that it lined up. Floodpitch Drowner was good. Yeah, there's some good stuff here, but it's never quite come together to form a top tier deck. Kind of, it doesn't have the punch that Merfolk in Modern does, or has done in the past. But okay, worth paying attention to potentially in the future. Anyway, here's the deck list one more time, so let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe as ever, and I'll see you next time.